All right, welcome back. Today we are diving headfirst into one of the most fascinating topics out there, neuroscience. We're going to unpack that incredible biological network that powers literally every single thing you think, feel, and do. You know, the very code that makes you, well, you. But let me start by asking you a question. What is happening inside your head right this second that lets you see this screen, hear my voice, and actually make sense of what I'm saying? The answer, of course, is your nervous system. It's the most complex structure we know of in the entire universe. And the quest to understand it, that's neuroscience. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with a really simple definition, then we'll see why it basically takes a whole village of different scientists to study the brain. After that, we'll build the nervous system from the ground up, clear up a super common mix-up, and finally, we'll get to see this incredible network in action. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. What exactly are we talking about when we use the word neuroscience? At its absolute core, neuroscience is simply the scientific study of the nervous system. That's it. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? But oh boy, that simplicity is deceiving. Because to truly understand this system, you can't just look at it from one angle. You need a much, much wider view. And that's because the nervous system is just so mind-bogglingly complex that no single scientific field can possibly claim to have all the answers. No way! To solve its mysteries, you have to build a team. Neuroscience, it turns out, is the ultimate scientific collaboration. I mean, just look at this. To get the full picture, neuroscience has to completely break down the walls between different sciences. It pulls in anatomy to map out the physical bits and pieces, biology to get what the cells are doing, and even psychology and linguistics to connect the physical brain to the abstract mind. It is this amazing fusion of expertise, all pointed at one single target. And this whole team-based approach, it really just exploded in this second half of the 20th century. All of a sudden, researchers could connect the dots like never before, linking the brain's structure to how it develops and even its disorders. It really set the stage for the incredible breakthroughs that we're seeing today. So how is this whole system actually built? To really wrap our heads around the grand architecture of the nervous system, we have to start at the bottom and work our way up. We're going from the micro to the macro. It's actually a really beautiful hierarchy. We start with cells, right? The basic building blocks. Then, groups of those cells come together to form tissues. Those tissues then combine to create organs, like the brain. And finally, all those organs work together in concert to form a system, like the nervous system. Remembering this progression is going to be key for what comes next. And this brings us to a really, really common point of confusion that we are going to make crystal clear. What on earth is the difference between nervous tissue and the nervous system? They sound super similar, I know, but they are absolutely not the same thing. Okay, think of it like this. Nervous tissue is the fabric. It's the raw material. It's woven together from two main types of cells. You've got your neurons, which are the messengers, and your glial cells, which are their support crew. But the nervous system? That's the whole structure. It's the finished product built from that fabric. It's the brain, the spinal cord, and all the blood vessels and tissues that hold it all together and keep it running. So here it is, the crucial point. While nervous tissue is absolutely the star of the show, it's just one part of a much, much larger, more complex system. The fabric is essential for sure, but it isn't the entire garment. Okay, we've seen the parts, we've seen the blueprint. Now for the really exciting part. Let's actually see this incredible network in action. How does it all work? You know, for all its complexity, it all boils down to a pretty simple pathway. First, you sense a stimulus, could be anything, like heat or light. Second, that signal travels up to your central nervous system to get processed. And finally, your brain issues a command to some part of your body, like a muscle, telling it exactly how to respond. Sense, process, respond. That's the loop. So take a simple reflex. You touch a sharp pin. Ouch! That sensation zips to your spinal cord, which instantly processes the danger and fires back a command to your bicep, contract, pull away. And all of that happens in less than the blink of an eye. But what about something way more complex? Well, the exact same pathway applies. You see a dog chasing you, that visual stimulus hits your brain. It gets processed, not just as an image, but as a threat. And that triggers a massive, system-wide command that tells your muscles, your heart, and your lungs to do one thing. Run. From a tiny pinprick to a full-blown panic, the core logic is exactly the same. And you know, that leaves us with a pretty profound question.
We've seen that this magnificent system is built from simple cells and electrical signals. So what is it, deep down in that network, that makes the brain's response to a dog so completely different from its response to a poem? How does a bunch of biology become an emotion? How does a simple signal become a complex thought? Well, that's the mystery right at the very heart of neuroscience. Thanks for joining us.